live.
It's a fucking show dog with fucking papers, okay? You can't fucking board it. Look for the link in the description. Everett's going to add in after the show as to exactly where the podcast starts. But
right. If you're new to the show, that is, and
yeah,
you don't know that we're going to sit here and bullshit for 15 minutes before we get off our asses and actually hit the play button on the intro music, that's what's what.
Yeah, that is what is what. It is what it is.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, shit. You're right. You can't board a fucking show dog with fucking papers, though. You know what I mean?
Right. It'll lose its hair.
It will. It will. It will.
Well, without further ado.
It will. It will. Man, that's a bummer, though.
Hello, Jennifer Green. Hello, fucking Dabney.
That's a bummer that
Bangarang.
that your other show's on
Hiatus. Just so busy. We'll probably bring it back in 6 months or so.
Yeah.
We're not killing it.
No.
We're not killing that show. It was too fun. It was a good show.
Yeah, that's a good show. What's the other guy doing? The one guy.
Tim?
No.
Corey?
Yeah.
He's got other shows he's doing.
What's he doing?
He's got the daily lineup sports show they're doing, like a morning talk show. It's pretty good. I don't really care about sports, but they do good on it. They're worth listening to.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah. Would you say they have a good brand of comedy?
I don't know.
I can't listen to things if they're not funny. You know what I mean? It's hard to do.
What up, Shadow Nug and MH Vlogs? Do you have a name, MH Vlogs? I feel kind of weird. Wooter Van Putin, what up, buddy? Or is it Putin?
He said Putin.
It's easy. I was going to try to do Russian, but for whatever reason, I couldn't remember my Russian accent. His name is Wouter Van Putin. That's not Russian, is it?
Come to the Kremlin.
Come to the Kremlin and get your face fucked up.
We're drinking vodka.
Vodka. I better post this on the Facebook, right?
I think so, too. Yeah. Links and all that good stuff.
We were rocking into the night.
Rocking into the night.
Yeah, buddy.
That's right, Jennifer Green. Fuck those big companies that want... Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What you talking about? Oh, I'm not over there.
Yeah, the big companies are wanting to have us connected to what they want, not the entire internet.
Well, there's a lot of the internet you can't get into anyway just because you don't have the password.
What's the password?
Well, like, how much of the internet, percentage-wise, is email?
Money.
Think about that, like the storage of email on the internet that you can't get into because you don't have the password. There's a shit ton of the internet. The deep web is shit like your internet.
Yeah.
It's on the internet. It exists as a huge chunk of it, but nobody can get to it because either it's encrypted or you got to have a password to unencrypt it, shit like that. So that's another interesting. We'll get to that, though.
Fuck up. Walter Van Putin says that Putin is the right pronunciation.
That's Putin, not Putin. Putin. He's been to Russia with Navy. Russell Burns. Welcome to back from Russia.
Hi, Seth. Good to see you, too.
Good to see you, Seth. You have an S, and I like it.
Oh,
damn. Good luck on the show. Can't really listen.
Who's that?
Ape. She wants to know if I'll be going to the fair for an hour after the show. Highland's doing their fair.
Good thing it ain't Ohio.
What's going on in Ohio?
You see the Ohio State Fair video?
What?
For real?
I don't know what you're talking about,
Give me Google real quick. We're not fucking, the podcast isn't started yet. So the fucking roller coaster, just gotta watch it.
Hold on, let me finish the Facebook post.
This is super gnarly. Like fucking badass. Like putty. Oh, putting. So you should have been like putting like golf, you know? Or like your car putts, putting down the road. Putin.
Like the Yiddish word putz.
Putts.
You're an idiot. You're a putz.
A poots.
I don't speak Yiddish. Oh, fair. Yeah, sounds good.
Ohio Fair. Look into that.
How we doing on numbers? Go start the show here in about 5, 10?
Yeah, 14 now.
Susan Mitchell finally makes it to the live stream. She sent us a couple emails and Facebook messages, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
She says that? She goes, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
I don't think you know that.
Marsha. Come on. You're going to the Ohio State Fair thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's fuck crazy.
Ohio State Fair. What happened now? What am I supposed to? Accident or something?
Yes.
Is there video of it?
Yes.
On YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Do I really want to see it?
Yes.
I don't need to go to the dark web to get to it?
Nope. I seen it on Facebook. Did you watch it? You watched it yet?
No, I've just loaded it. Okay, here's a 6-second clip.
You got sound?
Oh, shit!
1 dead, 7 injured.
Fuck me.
Yeah, you still want to go to the fair tonight, Everett? Don't get on no fucking rides like that. Did you see that? That's gnarly as shit, huh? That happened like this last week in Ohio. That was fucked up.
My God.
I know. That's
Blows my mind.
what's the light by your face? Why is God behind you? Oh, you know,
That's you, man.
No. I mean, like Everett's over here. Oh, you
There's-
just shut the door. That's right. Yeah, let's cut this TV off here. We want this fucker
Here,
gone.
gotcha. Gotta cup it. Okay. How's that look? You're still bright. But it's better.
It's better. That's maintainable.
Okay, hold on now. There's chat going on that I don't know about. We need to look back at that. Eli made it.
Depressive COG invited me to the clan.
Of COG? Oh, he's talking about in Halo. I thought he was talking about the Ku Klux Klan.
President.
I was like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Who's COG?
That's just a clan, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's another thing we're going to support, but I can't talk about that right now.
That fair ride came from a Dutch company.
Oh, thanks, Woody. You related to them? I'm just kidding. I don't mind you Dutch. Freaky deaky Dutch. You got to love them. How does Dutch talk? Yeah?
Is it possible to get some
You
more
do.
volume?
I got nothing.
Lucas wants to know if it's possible to get more volume.
Let's do a clap test. I'll take it out in the hallway and take a look and see what it is.
Does he mean volume or volume?
Well, he might. That would be the deep web there.
That we'll be on that one later.
Give me a clap.
Right, meow?
Right now.
Yeah, I think it's sad about the Three Horsemen too. I like that show. I only ever got to do the one crossover episode, but that episode actually did really good. That's one of our better, more viewed episodes on YouTube. Is the true crime crossover with Chris Benoit about Chris. We didn't have Chris Benoit on the show, obviously. Duh, but
All right, I'll give it a little
terrible. Yeah. What do we need? Some more volume? Is that what's going on here?
Sure is. This is the kind of feedback we need.
What the fuck are we talking about today? We're talking about the internet and all kinds of different shit. You could just see our document.
All right, that should crank it up a fair amount.
Is the volume better, people? Is the volume better?
I just cranked it up on the stream only, so we're
Stream only. Stream only
need
volume.
more crossovers. Wait a minute, like limiters? Is that what you mean? Like he would have in a car? Oh, he means for Three Horsemen. I had to read back a little bit. I'm a little slow today. Hey, Eli, we're talking about the shitty internet, buddy. Read the little thingy there. Yeah.
Queen of Dick.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
Benoit's show is excellent. It was a good show.
We were just talking about that before today. We'll get those guys back on. We're still going to have Corey on. He wants to do a West Memphis 3 show.
Yeah.
Yeah. T.O., we might get him back on. It's hard to get T.O. in. He's a lot like me. He's like, if I don't have to do it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Sort of guy. Seth Rogen kills the fun. You think he's talking about me?
Yeah, that's probably a pretty accurate assumption.
Okay. Well,
Yes. Okay, I believe you.
jump in the line.
Rock your body on time.
Okay.
I believe you.
Jump in the line.
Rock your body on
Oh,
time.
God, we're horrible, man.
Yeah, better, they say.
Okay, cool. I'm going to share this to the group, and we'll start the show. How about that?
I'm ready when you are.
Are you?
WM3, West Memphis 3 would be great. Yeah,
WrestleMania 3? WrestleMania 3 was great.
No, West Memphis 3.
Oh.
WrestleMania 3 was great.
Fucking Hogan slams Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought he broke his back.
Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon in an all-time classic match.
Remember when he got hit in the throat with the bell?
Oh, yeah, it was great. Anyway.
Fucking Ricky.
Three Horsemen show, we talk about that, or we used to, sadly.
That doc from the Hollywood Deaths was quite good, too. Where is he? He's right down the hall.
Oh, yeah, right down the hall. Armand, he's here today. He's just not on the show today.
Yeah, he's here.
He kind of lives here. I mean, it's just Armand. You're going to get used to that.
Yeah, the guy lives here. That's what it is. I'm not opposed to having him on.
Nah, we got it today. Thanks, Armand.
We show do.
I mean, we've been gone for 2 weeks. People are pissed. We've been getting emails, tweets. Where the fuck are you? I will blow up your house. I got 2 of those.
Yeah? Oh, I got a couple death threats.
Yeah.
3 solid death threats. Only one I was worried about. I mean, the other 2 I felt like couldn't get.
I could take you. I seen your Facebook profile.
Right, like one I was only worried about. But.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess you're ready.
Yeah, I've been ready.
You know, in this version of the theme music we have here, it cuts off early, and I'm sorry about that because it always goes. You know, the fade out, it just stops. It doesn't fade fully out like it should.
Yeah, that's all right.
It just goes. Okay.
It doesn't really bother me that much about the fading out.
I'm gonna go grab our sheets. I printed them out.
Oh, all right, good deal. Net neutrality on the agenda today. Why, of course it is, Eli. Yes, sir. He didn't turn the printer on, did he?
I forgot to hook up the doll.
Forgot to hook up the doll.
Yeah. All right, let me print it to the other printer.
I have it right here. I mean, you know.
I would rather have it in my hand.
You know, that's pretty funny for somebody that, like, gives me shit about writing things out instead of typing them. But
well, that's easier to go through when we're going down on here. Like, I can have other shit up and going. I can still see where we're going, kind of plan ahead. Why don't you just think like a producer instead of an asshole?
I think like a human being.
You think like a dickwad.
I work smarter, not harder.
I disagree.
Yeah, so what's harder? Picking up a piece of paper or pushing a click on a fucking computer? None of it really.
Yeah, it's not that hard. A piece of paper really fucking breaking the bank.
Yeah.
Oh, one.
Yeah, but now you got to walk down the hall and get it.
Oh, God. I had to walk down the hall the other way to get it.
Twice.
Shut up. No advertising for Team Eric.
Why not? No advertising for Team Eric, my ass. Everybody, what you're doing right now while we're waiting, just sitting here and this is some dead air time and Everett's in the other room fucking off. We know he's probably not doing anything important. You can get on your computer or your phone or however you get on the internet and go to www.surrealtalkpodcast.com and vote in the poll. Team Red Rocket. Wait, what? No, not Team Red Rocket. Team Eric. But yeah, go vote in the poll. I don't know what the fuck Everett's doing. He's down there doing some shit with some papers. I don't know. I'm not very fucking happy about it, though. I can tell you that. Oh, shit. So how's everybody been doing? It's been a long fucking week this week. Seemed like work was never going to fucking end. Work fucking sucks, by the way. Just saying.
Talking about me?
No. Team Red Rocket.
Team Red Rocket, yeah.
That's not what I said, but... Oh, you need one, I guess, hey?
Some people's kids.
Team Error. Wait, what?
Error. Team Airy. I'm not familiar with him.
Neither am I. All right, start it up. Let's do this.
Okay. Just about ready. Team Aaron. It's our sister.
Missed y'all. Missed y'all, too.
What am I doing? Oh, yeah.
Starting the show.
That's not a good sign.
You know, because it's like 3:15.
You ready?
Yeah.
Check, check.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely possible.
Could be.
You never know.
Disclaimer,
This shit
we
is.
reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's important. You think you know the whole story? Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
And a lot of other weird shit.
Oh yeah, a lineupmedia.fm production, and we are back.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been about 2 weeks since we did a live show.
Yes, it has.
Well, 2 weeks exactly, I guess, since we did a live show. Last week we were off. You had a little family vacation.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, had a lot of fun. Yeah, we did
It's cool.
some
Let's do
swimming,
some-
some laser tag. That was all kinds of fun.
Laser tag is actually pretty cool these days.
Laser
Ain't like
tag's
when we were
fun,
kids.
dude.
It's like
Laser
they actually have a
tag's
game and scoring
fun.
system instead of just running around shooting each
Yeah,
other.
like you got to go. Anyways, yeah, kept the base and everything. It was cool.
Yeah, we did a little thing last Monday. We recorded a quick little state of what's what, put that out. But here we are, back this week. We're talking the shitty internet.
Yes.
This is a topic that we've been talking about for probably, between us at least, 8 or 9 months. Just kicking around. We know it's there. Eventually we'll get around to talking to it.
Yeah, we've definitely wanted to do a dark web, deep web, internet, just an internet show basically for a while now. Yeah.
For a good long while. So I guess without further ado, let's get into it.
Get into what?
Well, I guess the shitty internet.
The deep web, the dark web.
Well, for starters, let's talk about the deep and dark web.
Yes.
Everybody's
let's do
heard
that.
of the deep web. Everybody's heard of the dark web.
So
lot
what
of-
exactly are those things?
So a lot of people don't realize that the deep and dark web are two separate things.
Okay.
So the deep web is a part of the internet that is inaccessible to people without a password, or it's behind a firewall. It's shit that's just cordoned off. You know what I mean? It exists out there. It takes up space on the internet, but it's not a web page. It's not a site that any public person can get to.
And that's the dark web?
That's the deep web.
The
It's
deep
just
web.
deep down. You got to have passwords and shit to get into it.
And now, is that what you were explaining to me earlier about like the emails and stuff?
Yeah, like for instance, all of your emails. Say you got 20 gigs worth of email on your Gmail account.
Right.
That doesn't really count towards the clear internet. The clear internet, is the internet that we all use every day. That's what it's called, the clear internet.
Yeah.
It exists behind a password. But that 20 gigs counts for space on the internet, you know what I mean? So it's something. So think about the deep web as that. All kinds of shit you just can't get to.
Right.
Then the dark web is a whole other thing. The dark web is a highly encrypted communication method to create a private network on the public internet. So the internet that we use is a public thing. Everybody can get onto it. But the dark web,
Unless
you
you're
use
from North Korea.
True. You use a program called Tor generally to get into the dark web. What Tor is, it's short for the onion router. So you download basically it's a specialized version of Firefox. Everybody's used Firefox. So that's what you do when you get on the dark web. It's not like, you know, you have a terminal access with the black screen and a little cursor blinking and you type run this program and get where you're going. It's just a browser. But what's different about it is it's not search indexable. There's no real index
You
that's
can't go
it's
to
crawled
Bing
and
or
maintained.
Google or Yahoo or any
You
of
can
those
use that while you're on the dark web, but you will get clear web results. So that's one way to browse the clear web completely anonymously as well. So while you're browsing through Tor, so the onion router, let's talk about what exactly the onion router is. So how it does anonymity is when you're on the clear internet, you send a packet of information like your request for what you want to a web server.
Right.
So it originates at your computer as a packet. It's got a destination address on it and instructions about what it wants. So it sends it first out to your router at your house. Your router takes a look at that packet, sees where it's got to go. It's got a whole routing table that knows where the next router is to get that packet to where it needs to go. All these addresses, each router knows where to tell it to route that over what wire, basically, where to go.
Right.
So Tor, what they do is they encrypt a packet and then zip it up and put it inside of another one. So you know what a zip file is? On a computer where you take a whole bunch of files.
File has to be unzipped before it can be viewed?
Well, yeah, it could be just one file or it's a bunch of other files. Normally it's used as a compression method. So say you got 10 files, like not JPEGs because they're pretty well compressed, 10 bitmap files, BMP files that you want to send over an email. Normally they'd be too big. So you put them into a zip file and then it runs a compression algorithm and puts them all into one little file that you would call like pics.zip. The receiver of that file would open that file on their computer with a zip extraction software, and it knows the algorithm to unzip that file out and make all those 10 files whole again.
Right.
So when you're on Tor, it's similar to that. So think of a compressed file. You want to protect it. You could put a password on it. So unless you know the password on the other end, you can't get that file to unencrypt and give you the files out correctly. You might see what the names of the files are,
right.
but you can't. You don't know how to unencrypt it.
Inside it.
So that's what Tor does. It takes your original packet, encrypts it, and wraps it in a layer. Then it does that again. It zips that one up inside of one, gives it a different password, gives it a different destination node address, and does it again up to 7 or 8 times. And it sends it out to the first server. It sends its decryption key with it. So that server decrypts that first layer, looks at it, says, I only know where this is going next, and then sends it off to that next little relay. And it relays it a whole bunch of times until it gets to the final destination address where that very first packet is finally, the layers have been stripped on, and it's got your original destination back.
Right.
So then it wraps that reply back up, the reply packet with your data, be it a web page or part of a file, and sends it back through that whole gamut again, puts it in 8 or 9 layers, sends it back out, ping, 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 until it gets back to your browser.
So let me ask you this. When did Tor come out?
Tor was invented in, I believe, 1992.
03, I thought.
02, 03. It was actually done by the Navy. A group of people in the Navy invented it.
It was a whole, I don't think it was the Navy.
Let me bring up
the Navy. I think it was 2002 or 2003, and it was a group of people.
Yeah, hold on. It was the core principle. Okay, so I'm going to read some research I did about 8 months ago for a different project, but it reads pretty well. The core principle of onion routing was developed in the mid-1990s by the U.S. Naval Research Lab. It's created by a mathematician and a computer scientist with the purpose of protecting U.S. intelligence communications online. Onion routing went through further development by DARPA in 1997. So onion routing is separate from Tor in this case. At first, it's just the idea. Tor is the package of the idea.
Right.
So the alpha version of Tor, then known as just the Onion Routing Protocol or Tor project, was launched in September 20th of 2002. So that's when the first public, here's the program, it's workable, it's alpha, it's buggy as shit, but you can start to see what we're doing here.
And so Tor is the onion router.
The onion router, T-O-R, the onion router.
Right.
Pretty simple there. It was developed by one of the original creators of onion routing, mathematician Paul Syverson, and computer scientists Roger Dingledine and Nick Mathewson. The first public release occurred a year later. On August 13, 2004, Syverson, Dingledine, and Mathewson presented Tor, the second-generation onion router, at Usenix Security Symposium. Also in 2004, the Naval Research Lab released the full source code for Tor under a free license. So what that means is they said, here's the base code. It's free for everyone to look at. So if there's any security issues, send them to us. It makes it the whole world's open to making the security better. That's kind of the intention.
They had an open beta.
Well, it's more than that, but yeah, I guess you could call it that. Everybody try it. And here's our source code. If you find problems,
let us know.
There you go. The only problem with that is it makes it kind of easy to hack.
Yeah.
Well, not super easy, but the code's there. It's easy to look up. And it has been compromised a few times. There's been no real definitive ways on how. Sometimes there's what are called Tor hidden services. So normally you have a web server on the clear internet. On Tor, you run a program on your web server what makes it a Tor hidden service, which basically just advertises it. Not advertises it, so to speak. It just opens that server up to accept requests on the Onion network, the Onion router network. So whenever you go to Google, normally you'll put in www.google.com. Yeah. It works similar on Tor, but it's not even close. the hidden wiki, for instance, which is like the Wikipedia for the dark web, it's just the like opening the door. Here's the beginner level sites that you can start to find shit on.
Right.
But its web address is a string of like 14, 15 letters and numbers, like WYC72545, Nevin 9126, I don't know, .onion. So it doesn't really work the same way. And there's servers out there that, similar to our DNS servers, that translate google.com into an IP address, that know how to take that whatever .onion and run it through the correct protocols and get that packet to where it needs to go. So that's pretty much how onion routing works. Going back to the story of Tor, though, anyway.
No, hang on now. But that's the reason you want to, on the deep and dark web, the reason that you want to use...
At least the dark web.
...the onion router is because...
Anonymity.
So
right.
What that'll do is it provides you with anonymity while you're browsing these... questionable sites.
Whatever.
Just,
I mean, you could just be a journalist who is afraid of the CIA trying to figure out what you're doing, or anybody trying to steal your work.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so yeah, can you browse the regular web through the onion router, through Tor, if you're just afraid, like you don't want people to get your passwords or your credit card numbers? Is that a normal practice? Do people do that? That's the shit people do, so that's a way to protect yourself?
I wrote an entire document. I can give it to you, and I could probably make it available to the group. How to make yourself invisible online using Tor and other different ways of what firewall programs to use, and how to just to keep yourself anonymous online. If you're worried about the government getting at you, I've written a document that'll tell you how to pretty much keep yourself secure. I've only shared it with people I work with because that was kind of my job at the time, online security and network security. So anyway, going back to the story, they presented the second genuine onion router at Usenix Security Symposium. Naval Lab uses the Tor free license. And then the EFF, which is the Electronic Frontier Foundation, an international nonprofit digital rights group.
That's the one I was talking about.
The EFF?
Yeah.
They began funding Syverson, Dingledine, and Mathewson to continue the development of it. In 2006, those three found the Tor Project, which is a Massachusetts-based research education nonprofit responsible for maintaining Tor, with the EFF acting as its fiscal sponsor. So the EFF basically is like, we dig your magic, we like keeping shit anonymous, and we're going to fund you. That's pretty nice of them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
From that point on, that's been its major source of funding, other than the U.S. government. So the U.S. government has put a lot of money into Tor. Going on in my notes here, I'm sorry this isn't super streamlined, but in 2014, in the aftermath of Operation Onymus, which is ONYMOUS, we'll get into that later, it's about Silk Road, there was a speculation that a Tor weakness had been found and exploited. A representative of Europol was secretive about the methods used, saying, "This is something we want to keep for ourselves. The way we do this, we can't share with the whole world because we want to do it again and again and again."
Really?
That's a guy from Europol saying, "I'm not telling you how or whatever we broke these guys down, but we can do it and we want to do it again."
So they know how to do it. They know how to get through the Tor.
So they're saying that could have just been flub. They could have tracked the guy from any number of means whenever they found out who Silk Road was and where Silk Road was stored. But they think about what kind of spin that puts on people. They think that Europol has the ability to get you when you're on the dark web. Just the chance of it alone, they're fucking with you with. That's pretty good law keeping, or law doing, if you will. You know what I mean? Like Johnny Law shit.
Yeah.
It's good strategy. Anyway, a BBC source cited a technical breakthrough that allowed the tracking of physical location of servers, and the number of sites that police initially claimed to have infiltrated led to speculation that a weakness in the Tor network had been exploited. This possibility was downplayed by Andrew Luman, a representative of the non-for-profit Tor project, suggesting that the execution of more traditional police work was more likely. However, in November 2015, court documents on the matter generated serious ethical security research as well as Fourth Amendment concerns. So like unreasonable search and seizure and shit like that. So it sounds like they're hacking straight in, and that's illegal. Pretty much get on the Tor and break that network down.
Yeah.
Unauthorized access to computer networks. That's the fucking CIA stuff that we were talking about. What was it? Project
Vault 7.
Vault 7, Year Zero, and all that shit. So let's talk about the Silk Road, getting into what's available on the dark web. A lot of people, this is the dark web to a lot of people. The original superstar marketplace of the dark web, where people thought you can get anything on the Silk Road, from like murder for hire to buying slave children. But mostly it was for drugs and documents and shit like that. fake passports,
passports. Okay, so I was like, what kind of documents could you need?
fake
to
birth
fake?
certificates, social security numbers, driver's license.
Oh, make your own new identities and
or
shit.
steal identity theft services, sell bulk credit card numbers, bulk password generation list.
Really?
Like whenever you get a hack of like AT&T. What do you think they do with that data? They don't sit on it. They get on places online and they sell it to these groups who actually know what to do with that information or have a use for it.
Right.
So they get on an online marketplace and say, 10,000 clear text passwords for Hotmail. You want these accounts? I have 10,000 of them for sale, $300.
Huh. Is that cheap? I wonder if that's a good price.
I don't know. It's an arbitrary number.
Oh,
but
yeah.
they are not expensive. Whenever you got a literal list of 2 million accounts and you want to make money, you start selling them out pretty cheap for bulk.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck does it matter to you?
No shit. Yeah, you don't give a fuck. I agree.
So the Silk Road was, like I said, one of the first and best online places. So here's my notes on what I have about the Silk Road. First things first, check out a movie called The Deep Web. There's a trailer you can find on YouTube for it. It was a movie by Alex Winter, as we all know, was Bill S. Preston, Esquire. It's actually narrated by Ted Theodore Logan, Keanu Reeves. But it details more documentary style about... what's his name? Ross Ulbricht, who was at the time
the guy that ran it, right?
The guy that ran it, the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yes.
So,
I'll likely kill you in the morning.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad name for that movie, though, The Dark Web, because it's not about the Dark Web. It's just about Silk Road.
Right.
So, I don't know. That was my only shit on it. Otherwise, it was a pretty solid movie.
So you can find, but so not just Silk Road. So we're not talking about Silk Road, but Silk Road's a big part of the.
No, I'm going to talk about Silk Road specifically because it was kind of the first thing. It was the first online darknet market. It was known for selling illegal drugs. It was founded 2011. It was named for the historical network of trade routes that started during the Han Dynasty in China that existed between Europe and China in around 200 BC to 280, that 400-year stretch. That was what they called the trade route, the Silk Road.
It's crazy because like what this did was made it where you could, legally procure shit that you couldn't get anywhere else,
Pretty much. I mean, it wasn't the first either, but it was like the most widely known first.
It wasn't the first, but it was the best.
Yeah, right. It was operated by a person under the pseudonym of the Dread Pirate Roberts, eventually revealed to be Ross Ulbricht by the FBI. The Dread Pirate Roberts, of course, comes from the movie everyone loves. I don't know anybody who said it's a shitty movie. The Princess Bride.
Andre the Giant was in there. We were just talking about him earlier.
Hello, lady. But what's interesting about the name Dread Pirate Roberts and why they took that is because, and the guy says in his defense, I'm not the first Dread Pirate Roberts. And the guy who I got the title from on Silk Road who ran it, he was not the first Dread Pirate Roberts either. So that's one reason they use that title. So they don't know really who started the Silk Road. They say, like, if you look at, if you watch the Dark Web, the movie, they paint the picture that it was Ross Ulbricht from the very beginning, and it may well have been, but it's hard to say.
They don't exactly
from his profile. I don't completely buy that this guy had what it takes to start that whole thing up, but whatever, FBI does.
Well, now, how is it different putting up a website on the dark web versus putting up a website through searchable on the regular web? I mean, so it's like putting up some sort of a website that you can.
It's just not easily get to. You could easily put a website for cocaine sales up on the internet, cokeforsale.com.
Right.
But then that has a regular IP address that has a regular server that can easily be tracked to where it's hosted,
right.
who's paying for that hosting. It's an easy paper trail. Now, on the internet with a Tor hidden services on that website, it's built every time you try to make a request, you got 7 or 8 layers of getting to where that server is actually housed. So it's not an easy thing. So one, you can keep your website up. But the great thing, well, not the great thing, but one really complementary thing to the dark web and those type of things is Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They allow for completely anonymous transfer of currency.
Yeah.
So you can go on the Silk Road, pay for your goods in completely anonymous method. The only part I don't get is you're going to give them your address to ship it to you. So if that person ever gets popped and they have records, it's just like any other drug dealer with records.
Yeah, pretty much. They got a ledger.
I'm thinking just drug dealers, but assassin, fucking blackmail, whatever.
You got a clientele list is what you have.
Right. So, I mean, while you can get away with transmitting the data probably anonymously, it's still, humans can still fuck you over on that deal. So if you're going to hire a hitman online, take care.
Don't hire a hitman.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, just do it yourself.
Oh, that's your advice?
Well, I'm just
I did not see it going that way.
Well, here's the thing with hiring a fucking hitman. I've seen so many of the shows where the people are like, the hitman's a cop. You're going to get fucking busted trying to hire a hitman.
Yeah, every time you see it on
want anything
TVs.
done right, do it yourself.
So Lauren in the chat says, hey, I have my IP invisible whenever he goes on the internet. So what he's talking about is using like a VPN or a proxy server.
A virtual private network?
Right. So that's kind of similar, and it's a start along keeping your anonymity. So what a VPN is, okay, long story short, if you want to hide yourself on the internet, you don't want to broadcast what your IP address is. Your IP address is your pointer to where your computer is on the internet. That's home base. That's your address where you're at.
Right.
So when you go to a website, the logs record what IP address has done what type of stuff. So if you use a VPN, what that does is you first make a tunnel into another network, and then you become a part of that network and exist behind its IP address. So when you're at home, your router has a public IP address, and all your computers behind it, your cell phones, your TVs, they have private IP addresses, and your router knows how to dole the traffic out to make sure it gets to the right one. So first things first, you make that virtual private connection, you basically exist behind a remote router. Now you have its IP address.
Okay.
And if it's not keeping logs, you've pretty much made yourself anonymous. Because whenever you do anything on the internet, the server logs will point to that IP instead of yours.
Right.
That's relatively cheap to do. And it's generally a better option if you're going to be doing pirating than like Tor. Tor is slow. All that encrypting and decrypting takes a lot of time. All those little steps takes time to get traffic back and forth.
Right.
VPNs, if you buy a good one, you can get most of your regular internet speed through that thing and be mostly anonymous. I can actually, I'll say right now, PIA VPN, that's the one you want to use. It's $50 a year. It works up. I've had 40, 50 megabit at concurrent connection at a time going through that. So that's a download rate about 5 or 6 megabytes a second through a VPN.
Right.
That's plenty fucking fast. It's a logless internet or VPN service. So their servers keeps no track of who connects to it and what they do. They don't keep track of your payment information. Once you make it and you make your account, poof, that's gone. So PIA VPN.
That's pretty anonymous then.
Check that out. It's not bad. It's only as good as their security on their servers. Because if somebody busts into that server and installs any kind of logging server, be it the CIA or even a malicious hacker wanting to keep track of people, what they're doing on this VPN, and then later blackmail people with it. Think about that. Think if you're using that, again, to get on weird websites or steal movies or whatever, and a hacker gets in between, finds out what you're doing, you thought you were anonymous, well, he sends you a note, hey, I know what you've been doing.
Right. Well, that's what I was telling you about.
That's the shitty internet for you, hackers, man.
I was watching. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I was watching those deep web stories, the dark web stories. You know, people like the guy went on that fucking website and he scrolled back to the top after he got all the way to the bottom, and there was a new link there, and he clicked it, and it said pictures of Sarah.
Oh yeah, if you go on Reddit,
that was his old lady's girlfriend, or that was his old lady's name, and he fucking clicked it. And it was pictures of his old lady naked, and the guy put it on there.
There's videos on YouTube, and there's posts on Reddit. Most of them are made from the post on Reddit. What are your deep web horror stories? Right. There's hundreds of stories of people they get on there and they fuck around for a little bit. Oh, the We See You story is great. So what that was is a guy got on the deep web and he starts. That might not even have been the deep web. I think that was just an early web server where the guy was out fucksing around on the internet. It might have been the deep web. Either which way, he's looking around in the file system, seeing like what he's doing, trying to hack the Gibson. He goes down a couple folders deep, and as he comes back up to the root level of the drive, like the straight out C drive, he notices a new file. And he opens it up. On the inside of the file, it says is "We see you."
We see you, yeah.
So whoever is running that server,
it was a link. It turned into a blank, almost blank web page that said "We see you."
Right. It was just basically an HTML document that said "We see you."
Yeah.
So they knew he was there, and they're like, you're on our server. We know you're here. Fuck off. Or they didn't say fuck off. They said, we see you.
I wonder
what the implication is.
I wonder how you know that they're there, though.
Well, if your router logs every incoming thing, you can just look on your router, incoming connection on this port. So let's talk about what ports are real quick as a way to understand the internet even more. So say you're hooked up directly to your cable modem. Bypass a router. You don't have a router. You're hooked up wired to your cable modem. You have a public IP address on your computer. So you're straight out open on the internet. So every computer through TCP/IP, which is the set of rules that govern how the internet works, every IP address you have is your TCP/IP internet address. So you have 65,000 plus ports on your computer that can be assigned for communication in and out of your computer. So if you run a web server software on your computer, it will generally run out of port 80. So whenever you put in an IP address in a browser, or a website, it turns first that google.com into the IP address, and then it asks that server on port 80, hey, what content are you serving? And then it goes, hey, I'm a server. Here's what I'm programmed to throw you out as the first page you see.
Right.
So websites have a port. Everything has a port that, like, any kind of servers you're running is a way to get in and out. So your Xbox has to communicate through a port too. So like Xbox Live, I don't remember what ports there are. Somewhere in the 3,000 range, there's like 8 or 9 ports that it opens up so you can do your voice communication, your game communication. That's where it connects. So a firewall, what that does is it says all ports are shut down. No traffic's coming in and out of your computer. Then it starts asking you questions whenever traffic occurs. Hey, I just noticed there's traffic trying to get out on port 80 or traffic trying to get in on port 80. Do you want to allow this? Do you recognize it? Here's where it's coming from.
Right.
So that's a software firewall where you're seeing it like real time and stuff like that. Your computer, your router that you buy, like your Linksys router or your Cisco router, that has a firewall built into it as well. You can get into that and configure it via a web address on your network. But long story short, they all do the same thing. They turn off all your ports, and they only open up what you tell it to allow. So that's a very important way right there to safeguard yourself. Now, firewalls are not infallible. Hackers know ways to get around firewalls because
right. Well, that's what I was just about to ask you. As a regular consumer, that just has the router, the modem, the computer, the laptop, and the normal household things. How at risk am I? How compromised?
So you're at the same risk as any network.
Yeah, exactly. So what kind of security am I looking
from the Pentagon to your home network? You're only as secure as the gumption of the person who wants to get in. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they've got the time and the want to get in,
right,
they're probably going to find a way to do it. So that's that, buddy. Your privacy, as you know from our CIA Vault 7 episodes.
There's no privacy.
Exactly. Just because you have a router that firewalls you off, shit happens. You can get through. Ports that are only meant to give traffic for MSN Messenger can be used for now I see everything you type.
Right.
That sort of thing.
They can get keystroke logger or whatever on there.
Yeah, like if you get a virus, what some viruses do is they just install types of servers that allow it. Like a Trojan virus basically is just it opens up a port and accepts commands through that port. So
it's fucking crazy.
But after that seg, going back to the Silk Road, the firewall seg there.
What were we talking about? We talked about drugs, human trafficking.
Just going through the story of the Silk Road and how they found the Silk Road and how that was ran. I just thought it was really interesting because that's real history of the dark web shit there.
Yeah, Silk Road.
Yep. So in 2011, in June, Gawker, Gawker, the website, published an article about the site Silk Road, which led to an internet buzz and increased traffic. So now they're kind of high profile. That's whenever shit starts bad. Now the FBI's like, we can't allow this online drug marketplace. So you get that brazen, that's a bad idea. So in February 2013, an Australian cocaine and ecstasy dealer became the first person to be convicted of crimes related to the Silk Road. Authorities found him after intercepting drugs that he was importing through the mail and discovered his Silk Road alias on an image file on his computer. So again, you're protected out there on that network, but if you do anything dumb in real life and get the cops at your house and they take your computer, you better make sure your computer's clear. This guy just had an image file, which is basically less probably than a signature line on an email. It's like whatever his hacker name was, drug seller 123, cool guy, and they tied him together to that. Whether or not, who knows whether or not that was just something that was cached. He saw that guy's website, and now it's on his computer. But apparently they had enough evidence to say, yes, that's you.
That was him.
With the drug stuff coming in, we believe that's you, and a judge convicts him. So, And then in December of 2013 in New Zealand, a man was sentenced to 2 years and 4 months in jail after being convicted of importing 15 grams of methamphetamine that he had bought off the Silk Road.
Damn, he got 2 years in jail for...
New Zealand don't play with meth,
half
man.
ounce of meth, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
October 2nd, 2013, Ross Ulbricht, the man we know now as the Dread Pirate Roberts, was arrested in San Francisco, alleged by the FBI to be the man in charge of the Silk Road. The charges included money laundering, computer hacking, conspiracy to traffic narcotics, and attempting to have 6 people killed. Ultimately, that wasn't prosecuted on the charges, as actually no one was killed. Ulbricht's lawyer argued that he did not set up the Silk Road, but transferred control to others shortly after founding. He claimed that a man named Mark Karpeles was actually the Dread Pirate Roberts and had set up Ulbricht to be the fall guy. So,
oh, really?
The old story, huh?
Yeah, which you can't really prove otherwise.
Right. It was also alleged that the Dread Pirate Roberts was actually up to 3 people. The judge threw this out and any other speculative statements after about the running of Silk Road. And Ulbricht was convicted on February 4th, 2015 of 7 charges. Engaging in a continual criminal enterprise, narcotics trafficking, money laundering, and computer hacking.
Really?
So he's still in jail.
How long did he get?
I don't know. Let's find out. Ross Ulbricht.
Prison sentence.
Yeah, let's see here. After the arrest and trial. Da, 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 da. Oh, man, this is boring. I'm sure people listening hate this.
Yeah, da-da-da-da-da.
Fuck, I don't know. Shoot, what charges for the possibility? Okay, sent to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Oh, he there.
Holy shit. He's not coming out. He's got an appeal going, but life in prison. Don't fuck around, man. Running a drug empire online.
Wow, bummer, dude.
Yep. Let's see. So yeah, that's basically it on the Silk Road.
Now, so what was the address for that? So obviously it doesn't go to www.
No, it was another one of those.
Was it Silk Road?
No, it was another one of those.
Just a fucking
string of characters.onion.
And you had to know that string of characters to get there.
Right.
Okay, so can you get to these sites right now? If I just type that string of characters in my search bar.
No, it would not connect.
It would not connect. Why not?
You need to be on the Tor network to resolve those.
Why though?
Because regular DNS servers have no clue about that protocol. They don't know how that works. They're not on that network. So whenever you open up the Tor browser, it connects up to the Tor relay network and allows you to start putting in those onion addresses and allow you to do traffic that way. But one thing you can do that's kind of cool is people do list of onion websites on the regular internet. You can go on Google and type best onion websites for this or that, and they'll give you a list of all these .onion websites. You just copy and paste them in the Tor, and there you go.
Right.
You can even search for them on Google on Tor, and then click into them, and they work. So that's kind of cool.
Fucking Silk Road.
But speaking of that, there's something called the Hidden Wiki that existed, and it still exists in many different ways on the dark web. So it's the name of several censorship-resistant wiki sites that run in the same software as Wikipedia, operating as a Tor hidden service. It's almost, a lot of people think of it as the de facto homepage of the dark web.
Right.
So it was originally a single wiki. Its main page contained a community-maintained link directory to other hidden services, including links claiming to offer money laundering, contract killing, cyber attacks for hire, contraband chemicals, and bomb making. The rest of the wiki was essentially uncensored as well and offered links to sites hosting child pornography and abuse images. The first iteration was founded sometime before October 2011. In March 2014, the original site and its domain, KPVZ7KI2V5AGTWT35.onion, was hacked and redirected to Doxbin. So I'll get to what Doxbin is in a minute. After it was reestablished, the content began to be mirrored by many other sites to prevent a loss of the darknet if this happened again. So what people started doing, they made copies of it and put out on the internet where you can find this copy of the hidden wiki. So if in case the first one gets hacked again, here we are again with the same content.
Right.
So they made it kind of, I don't know, hack resistant.
Well, not really hack resistant, just they got backups.
Yep. So following Operation Onimus, which is the one that took down Ross Ulbricht, the hidden wiki and its after its Bulgarian hosting company was compromised, the site served a site message from law enforcement, something along the lines of this site has been seized by the FBI. Right now, if you go to the website kickass.to, you can actually see the exact same message you get from the FBI. Here it is. This domain for Kickass Torrents has been seized as a part of a joint law enforcement operation by Homeland Security Investigations and the Internal Revenue Service.
Show that. Should put your camera on that.
Sure. Again, that's kickass.to. Let me get my camera a little better there. This domain has been seized. So they ain't fucking around.
No.
But that's what you saw whenever you go to the first one after the authorities got to it. But then they relaunched it again with all the mirrors and basically made it authority proof.
Look, Walter Van Putten says HH8UHUG.
I wish I had Tor installed on my laptop right now. I'd totally put that in. Hold on, Tor download. Fuck it. Yeah, I'll download it right now.
We'll do some dark web browsing right now.
Yeah, I don't care. I have it on my PC in the other room, but we're going to get on the dark web. I don't know how long it's going to take.
Big darknet markets got shut down recently.
Did they?
I was not aware.
Let's see. Well, while that's downloading.
Agora.
What's that?
Alpha Bay and Agora.
I don't know about them. Alpha Bay and Agora. I guess that's just their names. But I'm not what you would call a denizen of the dark web, so to speak. I don't spend any time on there.
Right.
It's like back in the day when jailbreaking your iPhones was cool, To me, it's a fad thing. Unless you really got a reason to be there, why be there? Or you could be paranoid.
Yeah, I remember you used to try to get me to jailbreak mine. I'm like, I don't need to. What for?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, but you can get this little cool thing at the top of your phone.
Yeah. It was cool. I mean,
So
you give you some
what?
options, but any which way. So remember a minute ago when I told you that the Silk Road was hacked, or not Silk Road, the Hidden Wiki was hacked and redirected to Doxbin.
Yeah.
So Doxbin was a document sharing and publishing website which invited users to contribute personally identifiable information, or docs, D-O-X, of any person of interest. It operated on the darknet as a Tor hidden service. Due to the illegal nature of much of the information it published, it was one of many sites seized during Operation Anonymous. A multinet, you know what Anonymous is at this point.
Right.
Doxbin was first established to act as a secure, anonymous venue for the publication of docs, a term in internet culture which refers to personally identifiable information about individuals, including social security numbers, street addresses, usernames, passwords, obtained from a variety of illegal and legal means. So Doxbin and several other services were seized, blah, 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 blah. None of that shit matters. It's all about Anonymous, just how it was seized. But it's crazy. Like we were talking about earlier, whenever the giant email hacking would take place and they have all the usernames and passwords for whatever, that's a place where that type of shit would be posted. If somebody just wanted to release it. Just go to Doxbin. Boom. Whenever Ashley Madison happened, that big hack, I believe it was another site like Doxbin where they published the giant database of all that shit. So
that was the one where that guy Duggar got caught up in all that shit, right?
Fuck, I don't know, man. A lot of people got caught up in that shit. From
what was that, a porn site or something?
So Ashley Madison was, and this is really is a good thing for the shitty internet. It was a adultery facilitating site. It's for people who are married to go on and find people to cheat with.
Oh, okay.
So whenever that website got hacked, its database of emails was released to the public. So every person who went on Ashley Madison to find a person to cheat with, you can go on and just search the database of email addresses and look for your significant other, basically.
Bummer.
So you can still find that. Go look for, in case you're wondering about your significant other cheating on you on Ashley Madison, just search for Ashley Madison database hack search.
No shit.
And type in email addresses. Any of them that you know that they have. They might have ones you don't know about, though.
Yeah, because I mean,
they're little bastards. So let's talk about Operation Anonymous. Let's get into that and maybe shed some light on how they were able to crack into the dark web. So Operation Anonymous was an international law enforcement operation targeting darknet markets and other hidden services operating on the Tor network. On the 5th and 6th of April in 2014, a number of websites, initially claimed to be over 400, were shut down, including drug markets Silk Road 2.0, Cloud9, and Hydra. Other sites included money laundering sites and contraband sites. So, like, I don't know, buy fucking uranium, for all I know.
Right.
Guns. The operation involved the police forces of 17 countries. In total, there were 17 arrests. Talks about here about how they got Ross Ulbricht. Over $1 million in Bitcoin was seized, along with 180,000 British pounds of cash, gold, silver, and drugs.
Damn.
Of the 414 illicit services that were initially claimed to have been shut down, fewer online marketplaces like Silk Road. So there's way other shit than just marketplace, like drug marketplace that they got.
They shut down a lot of stuff.
414 services available on there. So a complaint filed on the 7th of November 2014 in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, seeking the forfeiture of any and all assets of the following dark market websites operating on the Tor network, referred to just 27 sites, 14 of which were claimed to be drug markets.
Damn.
So, U.S. and European agencies sought to publicize the claimed success of their 6-month-long operation, which went flawlessly. The U.K. National Crime Agency sent out a tweet mocking Tor users. What a fucking bunch of dicks. The U.K. National Crime Agency, I don't know who they are or what they really do.
Right.
But they sent out a tweet mocking people on Tor. Like, we got your ass.
For real?
Yeah. I mean, dude, like I said, it's been 8 months since I wrote this document. I'm pretty sure it was real at the time I wrote it.
Pretty sure.
Going on. The official, okay. The U.S. and European agencies sought to publicize the claimed success of their 6-month-long operation, which went flawlessly. The U.K. National Crime Agency sent out the tweet mocking users. The official Europol press release quoted a U.S. Homeland Security investigations official who stated, "Our efforts have disrupted a website that allows illicit black market activities to evolve and expand, providing a safe haven for illegal vices such as weapons distribution, drug trafficking, and murder for hire. Other leading drug markets in the deep web were unaffected, such as Agora. So apparently Agora just got nabbed, is what we're seeing in our chat.
Yeah, that's what that guy was saying.
So as of when I first made this, Agora, I guess, was still operating. Evolution and Andromeda are also two other ones that apparently missed the first round in Operation Anonymous. Where the Silk Road, in fact, did not distribute weapons or offer contract killings, Evolution did allow the trade of weapons as well as drugs. Prior to the closure of Silk Road 2.0, Agora already carried more listings than the Silk Road. So before Silk Road was even shut down again for the second time, it's not even a big deal anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Evolution was also expected to overtake it. Evolution and Agora are far more professional operations with more advanced security. And the rest of the Silk Road managers thought them mostly been largely due to a series of careless mistakes. What a burn. The guy was a dipshit.
Really?
That's how we caught him.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down
He's
to.
a real fucking numbskull, you know?
I want to see if I can't find, what was that other one? Not Agora. Evolution.
Evolution, yeah.
Yeah, let's type Evolution onion address into Google and see what I get. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, yeah, there what is?
The marketplace URL for the Onion Network for Evolution. You want to do a quick bit of real-time
Deep webbing?
deep webbing?
Yeah, yeah. I
Let
mean,
me see if I can get Tor launched here.
what are you going to look for?
I'm going to go see what kind of drugs we can buy.
Really?
You want to buy some drugs? I don't want to buy any drugs right now. I just want to see what kind we can buy. I'll buy the drugs later whenever I'm not live.
Yeah, because you don't want to do anything illegal.
Not while I'm on the air.
Of course not.
Okay, so first things first, I googled for the address of Evolution Marketplace. The first website gave me a nice long .onion address. I popped it in. It says connecting. Oh, this is going to be boring because of how long everything takes on Tor.
Put your camera to the thing.
All right, let's see here. It's not going to resolve. All right. Yeah, see, it's just sitting there.
And what the hell is that doing?
I don't know. Well, I guess we're not going to get any drug shopping done right now. That's fine, though. I don't really care to shop for drugs live. Let's get back to the narrative. So, that's not really important. I had some talk about Memex, which was a DARPA project used to, it was going to change the way search worked on the internet due to the dark web, but that's not really that important. If you want to get into dark web search and what DARPA's doing with it, search for Project Memex, MEMEX. It's pretty good reading. I got about 2 pages of shit that don't apply to this website, though, or this podcast, though. So that's pretty much what the darknet is about. That's what you get it. You feel like you got a good idea what it is.
Oh
now?
yeah. No, I'm very well understood about what
so
it is.
So there's going to be hundreds of thousands of websites that, unless you know how to get to them, you're not going to get to them.
Yeah.
You have to be basically told how to get to them, and then at that point you can do anything you want on it. It has basically taken the black market and made it truly global.
Yeah.
So in one way, it's kind of cool.
But so like, hang on.
Yeah,
So say you were gonna procure some sort of services from an online marketplace,
such as
whatever, and it was okay. So you're gonna get something shipped to you. Well, say drugs, just example, like what you were talking earlier,
right?
And you do that. Okay, yeah. So you're anonymous online and everything, but I'm pretty sure they're going to smell the weed in the fucking at the post office.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like
people have gotten busted for that. Like,
exactly.
We were looking at it. So whenever I was fucking around on the dark web yesterday, I was looking at buying LSD and other things like that. Stuff like that is pretty easy to hide. They do what's called stealth shipping, and they somehow incorporate it into the packaging,
right,
to where you can't even tell it's part of it. But yeah, I don't know how you hide a kilo of fucking cocaine or a couple pounds of weed that you bought on the internet.
Smoke sweet stinky weed.
That's Ricky Bobby?
Yes, exactly right. Yeah. How much for that weed, old man?
I figure if I could crack that code of how to get weed shipped to me from the internet, I don't think I'd be doing a podcast, though.
No shit, right? I had a friend that did that one time and shipped it through the mail, and he got fucked at the post office, went and picked it up, and they pulled him over as soon as he left because post office called the cops. We're like,
right.
yeah,
hey, he's
we
here.
Can smell it. It's a huge package. So
dumbass.
Yeah, sure. He went and picked it up, and they fucking nabbed him as soon as he got out. As soon as he pulled away from the fucking post office.
Let me pop up what else we got about. Actually, let's keep talking about the. I got a lot more we could talk about here. So besides online marketplaces like Silk Road, where you can get drug slaves, like sex slaves, you can buy people.
Right.
Weapons, murder for
there's also a lot of information So like
Right. So everybody's heard of the Anarchist Cookbook.
exactly.
So what that was a series of instructions of how to do anything from build bombs,
Napalm.
how to survive in the woods. It was basically just how to be the Unabomber manual.
Yeah,
more or less.
yeah.
But on the dark web exist ways to make anything from bombs to 3D blueprints, like 3D print blueprints for guns, shit like that. Anything you couldn't normally easily share on the internet for fear that the authorities would find you and shut you down. That's where you get it. There's websites dedicated to how to cook humans.
Yeah. How to cook for humans.
How to cook 40 humans.
How to cook for 40 humans.
Okay, there's a little Simpsons swear gag there.
Yeah, that's an inside joke there. But yeah, no, I mean, I seen.
Yeah,
what about
well,
that?
I was reading about that though, about how to cook people. There's talk about how to cook people alive, how to cook them so they stay alive the longest while you're cooking them.
Cooking them, where to cut from so that they don't have such severe blood loss that they can actually eat themselves. So there's websites that facilitate meetings between two cannibals, and they will get on there and chat together. It's like, I'll eat your ass if you eat my fucking left bicep, you know, shit like that. Like they'll like say like, look, like when we meet, you know, you cut my ass cheek off, I'll cut your bicep. We'll cook it, we'll eat, we'll have a dinner. I'll bring the anesthesia.
I'm not really using my left ear.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's sites out there for shit like that.
Facilitate such meetings, right?
Yeah, and the one guy wanted to. He'd let the guy kill him and cook him and eat him. You know, I mean,
Wow, that's fucked up.
yeah, he was like, yeah, you can kill me and eat me.
So on Tor, there's also there's messenger services like AOL Instant Messenger. There's Tor Messenger and other things that are built to use for messaging protocols like email. So your entire email ecosystem exists on Tor. So you're not using Gmail just through Tor. You're using an email service that exists only on Tor. It can't email outside of it, can't email in it, that sort of thing. So
Right.
It's basically set up as a whole internet within the internet.
An internet within the internet.
It exists on top of it, inside of it,
more below it,
but it's like
behind it.
So imagine the internet is a big white cloud. There's the dark net, which is a dark cloud that you can't really get into, and once you get into it, it's so obfuscated that you don't really know where you're touching around.
Because it's dark.
It's dark. Exactly right. Yeah. So that's where that comes from. You could also get into all kinds of porn, from bestiality porn to like real rape. Child porn is really prevalent.
Yeah.
Snuff films, real life people getting killed.
Yeah, a lot. And you know what? A couple things I had seen said a lot of authorities say that, you know, those don't actually exist. But in this day and age, you can see snuff films on Facebook.
True. Have you heard about the one with the kids with the hammers?
Oh,
yeah. Kids with the hammers?
I've seen that. That's fucking rough, dude.
That is fucked up.
But even more than that, there are Facebook pages. There are groups you can join that are specifically gore groups, and I mean,
what about Vor? Do you know what Vor is?
No.
Hold on, let me.
And then I'm not that I'm into that shit, but I'm just saying that stuff's out there. So for people to say there's not videos that exist of people dying, you're just absolutely fucking wrong, because they're there.
Yeah. So Vor porn is
Cicada 3301. What? Why don't I remember exactly what that was?
It's crazy. It's people who get off on swallowing animals whole.
What?
Like swallow a mouse whole. People get off on that. That's just another type of. And then sometimes they gag it back out. Shit like that. There's all kinds of weird porn. Look up Vor porn sometime. VORE.
No, I don't want none of that.
You know you want to look up some Vor.
What was that Cicada 3301? I remember something about that.
I don't know, but there's a place. There's social media websites and forums out there. Places like 8chan, which is, I guess, playing off the clear web's 4chan, which is one of the worst places you can go on the regular internet anyway. It has the dregs of society doing the worst of the worst on the clear web. But 8chan, they take it up a notch. They have contests who can like post the worst kidnapping videos and shit like that. I mean, it's a bad place. But you can go on Google, type in 8chan. It'll give you the Onion address. Type that into your Tor browser. Boom.
And there's also like scavenger hunt things on the dark web, but they're like fucking pretty dark. You know.
So what do you got to do? Go find
it's scavenger
child porn, child porn.
No. It's like you know, you go to this one place, you figure this out, and then it'll.
Do you do dark web bingo? Can you play that maybe?
I don't know, but I know
like
that
you just start browsing around randomly on the dark web, and I found some fucking.
This guy was doing one of those scavenger hunts, and when he came like to the next point to where he was at, it was a dead cat with its head cut off. But the whole street, it was like a fucking abandoned street in a town that didn't have very many people in it. It had like 60 cats killed on the street, and he didn't go to the next one. Like the very last, that was the second to the last spot
right
of the scavenger hunt. was the 60 dead cats in the street. And so he didn't go to the last one, but he got an email and said, well, you almost made it. Probably a good thing you didn't.
No shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like it's
Yeah, that's another one of those dark web horror stories.
Yeah.
So, okay, now I feel like we pretty well covered the dark web. The deep web's simple. It's the shit you can't get to. The dark web is Tor. You can't get to it without a way to get into it, and it keeps you anonymous.
So that's Cicada 3301. I came across that earlier, and somebody was asking us to talk about that in the chat. It's like it's a group of people that they want to recruit like only the smartest individuals for their what they're gonna do. It's like a well, here, I'll just read the wiki, what they said. So, Cicada 3301 is a name given to an enigmatic organization that on 6 occasions has posted a set of complex puzzles and alternate reality games to possibly recruit code breakers from the public.
Oh, I did hear about that.
They only want the smartest people. They
right,
put like algorithms.
You won't even know how to.
You can't even figure this puzzle
right,
out.
if you figure it out, now you know how to apply.
You'll contact us because you know how, because you figured this out. You know what I mean?
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so, and then it says that the first internet puzzle started on January 4th, 2012 and ran approximately 1 month. A second round began 1 year later on January 4th, 2013. A third round following the confirmation of a fresh clue posted on Twitter on January 4th, 2014. The stated the intent was to recruit intelligent individuals by presenting a series of puzzles which were to be solved, each in order to find the next. No new puzzles were published on January 4th, 2015. However, a new clue was posted on Twitter on January 5th, 2016. In April 2017, another PGP signed message was found. Beware false paths. Always verify PGP signature from 7A35090F. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Basically, a PGP signature is just a unique identifier. It's like how your signature in real life could identify you. A server will have something similar, like a security certificate.
So the puzzles that this group was putting out, they focused heavily on like data security, cryptography, and steganonic. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but it focused on that. But it was like, I seen a couple of them. Like they would put them on like buildings in like a city hall or something, or they tape it on a huge pole inside like a main square, and it's much like the
there's one that sits
thing,
actually.
It's like the fucking equation on the chalkboard.
Well, at Langley, Virginia, there's apparently like a statue out in the yard that has some sort of encrypted information on it that's been there for years and nobody's been able to figure out. It's like a test, just another one of those things.
Really? It's a test?
Yeah, like a CIA test right out in the open
to see who can get it.
Right, because it's encrypted that well.
Yeah.
It might be NSA. Fuck, I don't know. It's all those guys do with all the encryption. So this is a kind of cool segment. If we're talking,
hang on now. Back to this Cicada 331.
Sorry.
It's been called the most elaborate and mysterious puzzles of the internet age, and is listed as one of the top 5 eeriest unsolved mysteries of the internet by the Washington Post. Much speculation exists as to its purpose, and many have speculated that the puzzles are a recruitment tool for the NSA, CIA, MI6, or a cyber mercenary group. Others have claimed that Cicada 3301 is an alternate reality game, but the fact that no company or individual has taken credit or tried to monetize it, combined it with the fact that no known individuals that solve the puzzles have ever come forward, had led most to feel that it is not. So, I don't know. They don't even know if people...
Dude, that's the perfect way for, like, those asshole hackers who are so into themselves.
Yeah.
We're so smart. We know our math so good. We're going to make this encryption algorithm that nobody can crack, but if they can, we want to know them.
Right, and I mean, and that's smart if you think about it, because
it's a job application.
It's a job application.
It's
exactly
a giant
right.
job application.
Yep.
To fill it out is to solve it. So encryption, you know what encryption is, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's just a way to make your files unopenable or unreadable by other people, right?
Right. That's the layman explanation of how it works. Do you care to know about how it really works? About how public keys and private keys work?
That's what the hell we're here for.
So there's encryption sets like MD5, which have an automatic encryption key where it's the same algorithm every time, to where you take and put a string into it and it gives you an obfuscated version of it. So you put the word food into an MD5 encryption algorithm, it'll spit you out a 16-character number which represents the word food. There's places on the internet that have created databases of MD5 encryption strings. So you have an encryption string that's 16 characters long, you don't know what it is. Somebody has spent the time to take a dictionary, run it into an encryption program, and catalog the results. So you don't have to brute force shit anymore, like by going, try this combination to see if it works out to anything legible. Try the next one. They have a database for that. So whenever you encrypt something, you have the private key, which is your version of it, which is, God, it's so fucking hard to explain. I'm just going to skip it. Let's just say you have the password itself is what generates the way to encrypt your data. It's the part of the algorithm that is the password that. So say it's 4 + 1 - 7. Apply that to every bit of the information, and that's your algorithm, your way to hide the data. So you know what math to apply to that data to bring it back out of,
encryption, to bring it to unencrypt it.
So you have keys back and forth your passwords that you got to have on both ends.
So to make it super simple for everybody, if you
it's
add
just like the Onion Network.
+4 to every number that you're going to do.
It's your schema for your encryption.
Your +4 is your encryption. That's your algorithm. That's what you have to do to add to every piece of data or information that you have to make it back to what you want to.
But real encryption is much more than just add 4 to every number.
Well, that's what I said. Let's just make it easy.
Right.
+4.
So somebody got real smart a couple years ago. Some fucking asshole on the internet took encryption to the fucking smartest place I could think to ever take it to make money with. They created what's now called a crypto virus. So what it does is it gets on your computer and forcibly encrypts your data. And then it gives you a message. It brings up a program as soon as you try to run it with a message that says, "Hi, your data's been encrypted. You want it back? Here's our Bitcoin address. We'll send you the key you need to unencrypt all your data." So either you pony up the dough or you've lost everything that was on your computer.
Assholes.
So what's been really a big deal is when doctors' offices get hit with it because of HIPAA. They almost have to fucking... They're pretty much fucked at that point.
Yeah.
Because all that data has been exposed. They can't be for sure. So what a lot of them do, they just pay it. And nothing happened. You know what I mean? I paid it. I've got my data back. Nobody knew. Let's just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I didn't even think about that. Like with doctor-patient confidentiality and shit like that. What about lawyers' offices, big law firms and shit?
I mean, that's the kind of data that exists in the deep web. That you get a virus onto the wrong server.
And that's the type of stuff that people try to go after, right? I mean, that's the type of shit that's worth money.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like if you know a lot about that deep web, you're probably going to be able to make money. Not legitimately, like legally, but...
Pretty much.
It seems like it's just a big way to make money. I mean, that
it's a genius way to make money.
It's a huge way to make money, but it's like it's everything. It's like you shouldn't do. It's like drugs. It's like pornography, drugs, fucking. Everything that slaves, weapons, murder, cannibals.
It's the easiest way to make money, in my opinion.
It's everything.
It's blackmail
bad.
too. Think about how easy that is. You send your virus out on the internet. It looks for places that it can easily infect, and then it does it and replicates itself. It's an automatic way to wreak havoc and send whatever percentage of those people they're willing to pay right back to you with money. So you just sit there and wait. I've invented my virus. It knows how to get back to me. Mm-hmm. Just sit and wait for people to be like, "I want my data.
I want my data back."
So I wanted to go through, speaking of viruses, there's an article on Norton, which is Symantec, the big Norton antivirus, those people, what they consider to be the most famous and hard-hitting computer viruses of all time. So their number one is CryptoLocker, which is a crypto virus. Another one of those. Number two was the I Love You virus. It was early 2000s. It was just pretty much a email virus. What did it do? It was very destructive. Hold on. I'm sorry, this is horrible. I'm reading through it at the time, trying to figure out what exactly it did. I Love You overwrote system files and personal files and spread itself over and over again. So it just overwrites your files and it says I love you in place of like what was your novel you've been writing, wipes it out, just writes I love you.
Oh, that sucks.
That's all it did. It just rewrote your files. That's shitty.
Yeah.
My Doom was the number 3. Let's see.
Norton was shit antivirus though, wasn't it? Didn't they? And then
they were good.
7, wasn't that the one that they said that was an easy one to get through?
Well, hackers have their favorites. Yeah, Komodo was their least favorites.
Right. Komodo was the hard one.
Right, but yeah, all of them have whatever. Like Norton antivirus 2014, 2015. They all have their little problems that they know how to exploit to get in, and they all have their ups and downs. Like I said, if somebody wants you, you're got.
Yeah.
It's just
if they've got the means and they want it bad enough, your information's there.
So My Doom was another one similar to I Love You, just destroyed files. Yeah, this is fucking boring going through what all these files.
Crypto viruses.
Let me tell you a story about a virus we got one time in a place I worked called
Ooh, story time.
Called the NIMDA virus. Now this had to have been, I'm gonna say 2001, 2002. I can Google NIMDA virus. Came out. It infected Windows 98, so that could tell you how long ago it was. There was still okay. It came out September 18, 2001, when the first advisory came out. So what it did, when you went to the wrong website, this one little file got put on your computer, and it started self-replicating. It would create copies of itself and give it a random name based on another file on your computer and call it .eml. And then it had a email server built into the virus itself. So it started sending emails to every random email address it could think of. Anything it could find on that computer with an email address, it starts sending emails. So at the newspaper we worked at, it wasn't getting too far sending emails. That wasn't the big problem. But every computer on the network that still used Windows 98, and this was 2011 at the time, so it was a fucking lot of, or 2001 at the time, so it was a lot of them, completely filled up. And not only that, were they so filled up, they are constantly going crazy on the network, looking for other computers to infect, ways to get out. It's got every network card in the building going nuts with traffic. So my network is shut down. I can't get regular like traffic from Macs that had nothing to do with the NIMDA infection, getting back and forth to their file server. It couldn't use the same network because the wires were literally so overloaded with traffic, and the hubs and switches couldn't handle the level of traffic that it just shut me down. So that day was a horrible day. I shut down the network, the whole building wide, unplugged every single computer from the network by hand at 10 o'clock in the morning. I walked around all day long, me and another guy. That's how I got Sean on at the Telegraph, because I needed a helper. It was such a massive helper for that. It was such a massive infection. So we burned a couple CDs. Eventually, Symantec comes out with a software fix for it. You run this program on your computer, it scans it, it finds all instances and gets it off. So we walked around the building, snail mail style, slow style, put this disk in every computer and started the scan by hand. Once it got clean, we'd reboot it, run it again. Once we were sure it was clean, we'd finally plug that one computer back up to the network. So every single computer in the building we walked around to, scanned, and put it back on.
Dude,
3 o'clock in the morning.
that.
3 o'clock in the morning before we're done with it. So next day business, we can open up business and take classified ads.
Print the fucking paper.
We still got the paper out. It was not easy. I had to create a whole separate side network and rebuild machines from scratch just for that day to make sure that we had a product to put out that night.
That's fucked up.
While going through still on every computer in the building that wasn't a Mac. And at the time, it was mostly PC. We had a graphics lab that was Mac. But it was fucking horrible. That was one of the times I realized I don't really like being a computer guy.
Yeah.
This is
F
too much
that.
work. So that's viruses, man. They fucking suck. Suck my dick, virus people. Suck my dick. Okay. Now that I'm over that.
Whoa.
Phishing is another shitty thing on the internet that people do.
Yeah, okay, so what's phishing?
So phishing is
You bait the hook?
You exactly right. You're trying to basically get people's personal details from them, be it address, phone number, or passwords and usernames. Most commonly, you'll see it in your internet. So sometimes you'll get an email from PayPal that says, hey, your account's been hacked. Sign in and change your password. Or, there's been a problem. Make sure you sign in and do that. So you click the link in the email. It looks like a perfect PayPal email. You click it. I'm at PayPal's website. I've got my login form. It looks just like it. Pay attention to that address, because if it doesn't actually have PayPal and .com right next to each other, you're not on PayPal.com.
Yeah.
You're on a website that is built to look just like PayPal and has a form sitting and waiting for somebody to put in their email address and their PayPal password. Now I've got you.
Yep.
So be careful when you get emails like that asking you and telling you that there's been a problem with your password. Pay attention to your www.com. If it says something like PayPal.relaynode.com, it's fake. Anything that isn't the actual PayPal.com or eBay.com, be careful. You want to look for sites too that have the little green secure padlock too in the top left-hand corner.
I was just going to say that most of the sites
so
I go to
what that
say
indicates
secure
is the server has a security certificate installed, which you can only get these security certificates by registering your business and your server with a few of the certificate authorities on the internet. They actually will call your business, make sure you say who you say you are, make sure you're all legit,
Right.
and then they will issue a certificate that expires in generally a year or 2 years, depending on how long you pay for. You install that on your website, and then when your browser gets to it, it says, okay, it's got a certificate. The authority that issued it is a trusted certificate authority, so my browser trusts it, and it tells you that this website is secure. And at that point, you're no longer doing web traffic on port 80 like we talked about earlier. That's unencrypted traffic. That's HTTP : traffic.
Right.
So whenever you start doing the secure traffic, HTTPS, that exists on port 443. All traffic is encrypted on that. So whenever you send out a request for hotmail.com, it's got a layer of encryption that it can only be decoded, by the computers to understand how to do that.
Man,
So
there's just so much to this shit.
I know, it's crazy. There are extensions for Chrome you can get. Like one I use is HTTPS everywhere. What it does is anytime I go to a website, if I just type in www.whatever.com, it'll probably give me the unsecure version of it. So I got a little paranoid. I want to make sure all my traffic is encrypted as I go back out, passwords sent, clear text or whatever. So there is an extension called HTTPS everywhere. You install it, and it automatically checks to see if there's a secure version of that website running. It goes, I don't want to run on port 80. Check HTTPS on 443, and then reload the website the secure way. Just making sure every time I go to a website, I'm on the most secure version. I use it for shit like Reddit or any place like that. So look into that.
What's 404 not found mean? Is that port? Is that a port?
No.
Okay.
That is an error number. So whenever you make an HTTP request on a server, you'll get a status message. So 200 is the status message the server will send you if the request you sent is good. I understand it. I have the content. Get ready. It's coming back. 200. 404 is, I'm sending you this back. 404, the content you requested, the file name, whatever, .html, that doesn't exist here. So 404 error, file not found, it's not here.
Okay.
So when your server sends that, it knows usually you'll have a file that's the template for 404 error. It'll just send that one file out that says, hey, your content's not here. It's a template for content that's not found. So there's other types of 4.0 errors. There's 405 errors, 406 errors. Then there's your 500 level errors, which is like 501 is whenever you've tried to put in a password and it didn't work. It was the wrong password. You'll get a 501 non-authorized error. Okay. It's the same type of shit as a 200 for success, a 404 for not found, 501 is non-authenticated.
Okay.
So that's what that means.
Yeah, well, got that out of the way.
Yep. Hacking. We talked a little bit earlier about hacking.
Yeah, so it's like when you take your friend's phone and you like open up their Facebook
and you
app,
say,
and
hack,
you got
jackass.
hacked.
I like to eat ice cream in bed.
You got hacked.
That is not hacking. That's being an asshole and picking up somebody's phone when they're not looking.
Yeah, that's updating someone's status.
What you might not know about hacking is the majority of hacking is not going and finding exploits in software and firewalls. It's social engineering.
Yeah.
It's calling up to a business and lying your ass off to get somebody to give you the passwords and tell you how to get into their network.
Yeah.
By normal means. Like, oh, yeah, you can download our client for our insurance software on our website. You just got to go to this portal. Yeah, you work here. Here's the password to get it. Oh, okay, so make sure you do this. Here's your username and password. You forgot it. Now you're into their system because you've lied your ass off to get in.
Yeah.
That's the majority of hacking. Most of it, if not 90% of it.
People are just con men. Hackers are con men.
Pretty much. If you watch the movie Hackers, he does that in the very beginning of the movie when he's trying to get into that TV station. He calls up to the TV station. He's like, yeah, I'm Ted from support. I'm trying to get into your server. You see that little modem there? Yeah, give me the phone number on that. So he calls right into the fucking the place
right.
just by tricking that guy, and now he has the whole TV station down.
He's in there, yeah. Now he's putting, yeah.
We talked a little bit earlier about firewalls as a way to protect yourself online. Obviously, get good virus protection. But I'm going to tell you a little something about me, and as much as I know about the internet, I do not run a third-party virus protection or firewall on my computer.
Why not?
Well,
not necessary.
Not necessary generally for me. I'm behind a pretty decent router at home and work. As long as you're not in like a little $30 router, you're probably going to be good against most attacks. And Windows, for one, comes with Windows Security Center, which has Windows Defender, which is a built-in virus protection. Windows has built-in firewall software that's turned on by default that generally doesn't slow you down too much more. You get McAfee. I'm not going to recommend anything today other than not recommend getting McAfee for your computer.
Yeah.
It may do good at scrubbing your computer and getting viruses off of it, but if you want it to run about 70% of the speed that it used to run, throw McAfee on there. That's a good way to do it.
That's
one reason I don't like virus software, because they're constantly reading your disk, looking to find files that might be infected and putting shit in the RAM, pulling it back out. It's always busy. It's a busy bot. I don't like all that power being used for that. So I practice safe browsing rather than trying to fix the problem afterward. I try to prevent it by not going to stupid websites.
Well, yeah. I mean, why change your motor when you can just change your oil every 3,000 miles?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So another thing people are seeing these days on the internet that sucks is scareware.
He said that he makes a great point. The Jurassic Park computers were hacked by Dennis Nedry.
They weren't really hacked. He wrote the systems. I mean, he just basically put a password in it. You didn't say the magic word. Yeah, that was just a password thing. But yeah, kind of.
It's a Unix. Remember the girl at the end?
Yeah, it's a Unix.
She knows how to, Never mind. Oh, that was funny.
Where was I going? Shit.
I don't know. I fucked y'all up on that one, didn't
What are we talking about?
I? Online bullying, misinformation.
No. Let's see. Virus protection. What do I do for virus protection? I don't know. I feel like we got pretty much good on that part.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How to protect yourself.
Online bullying's a big thing now. You got a lot of people. That's pretty prevalent now. People are committing suicide.
Yeah, I remember the first time a couple years ago it actually happened pretty local to us over in St. Louis, like St. Charles or one of those areas. A girl, two girls that went to a school. One girl was at least appeared to be flirting with the other girl's boyfriend. So they created an online account. Her and her mother apparently was in on it. Created an online account of a boy and start interacting with that girl on Facebook and get the two in like a romantic thing, this fake boy and this little girl.
Yeah.
Well, eventually they crush her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Drop the hammer on her, and she kills herself. All over some bullshit between, a real life thing.
Yeah, that's fucked up, huh?
Pretty much. But it goes on. There's even more shit that goes on, too. Just like fat shaming or like kids on Facebook, getting still bullied from school.
Online bullying, that's what
it's bullshit.
It's a big problem.
But what are we going to do about it? It's not something you can put a fixed system in. There's no software you can install to stop it. It's a societal issue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Online bullying to me is no different than bullying in real life. You've got to learn to take that. You've got to learn to. You gotta have thick skin, man. In this world, you've got to have thick skin. You can't go around and wearing your heart around your sleeve and letting everything get to you.
That's hard for kids, though, man.
Whenever
it is. Day in, day out, you got to go to school.
I know.
And the only thing you want as a little boy is your first girlfriend, but the fucking dickhead in the class just pulled your pants down in front of everybody.
Right, no,
You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Fucking bullies suck dick. And this is my second official fuck you today. Hackers, fuck you, and bullies, eat a dick. I'm on one today, I guess, huh? Misinformation's a big deal too on the shitty internet of Facebook and social media, from fake news to I don't know, just shit like false flags. The ability to spread that kind of fake news. You know what I mean? That's what the internet facilitates, is the ability to make a narrative true even if it's not.
Well, but it's at the same time, it's also true on the other end of it, because the internet also gives us the ability to be able to talk about these false flags. Like, so if a false flag happened in the 1960s before the internet, we would never have been able to talk about it or
Right. Think about the internet was around.
It
wasn't
wasn't a false flag back then.
Think if the internet was there when Kennedy was killed.
Right, exactly.
Well, it's not just that we would have known what happened. Think about the stories that would have been spun with that quick of a way to get out, like who was involved, just all the theories.
Right, yeah. No,
Same thing we got today about Trump or Obama or fucking Bilderberg. The shit that gets sent out about that, who knows?
Yeah. The internet's weird, man. It's weird.
I see a little note you have here on the document. Careful posting things online. They are out there forever.
Yeah.
That's a very true statement, and I don't think you knew how true it was. There's something out there on archive.org. Well, I'm going to tell you about the Wayback Machine. So on archive.org, there exists an archival system for websites called the Wayback Machine. What it allows you to do is go in and type in a web address of any website, and it will give you a calendar that you can go through, and it'll show you what days it took snapshots of that website. So you might be able to go to your favorite sports website from 2003, January 12th, and it has a snapshot of that. And you can see all the news and exactly how that website worked and functioned and all that stuff that day. So imagine you made a post on fucking
Facebook,
crackerwitch.com, and you got in, started talking bullshit about whatever, gave away your social security number, posted pictures of yourself nude, and that site got deleted, or you deleted the post and you thought it was gone.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that an archival machine or something like that has taken a snap of it and it still exists.
It's like I said, your shit's out there. Once you put that shit online, it's out there.
Pretty much. So, yeah, just be careful. Don't be a dumbass.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be you who puts it out there. Sexting these days, you sext, you put that in on your phone.
Yeah.
That phone is at risk for hacking. And then there's the possibility that the guy you sent it to, or the girl you sent it to for that matter, is a complete dickhead and puts it out there for you.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't have to be you.
Revenge porn, that's a thing.
Careful when you take that picture.
Yeah.
If you don't want your dick or your boobies out there for everybody to see, don't take the picture.
That's true. Yeah.
If you take the picture, realize that it might not only be seen by the person you're sending it to.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always that possibility. It's always going to be there.
So I think the last thing on our list of...
Wait, actual fake news.
We talked about it. Well, okay, what do you got to say about it?
It's
you got anything more to add?
It's a fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Fuck fake news.
But I think the bigger problem is how do we determine what's fake and what's not fake? Like who gets to decide that?
Common goddamn sense. Bring it to our group.
I understand
Facebook.com/group/Surreal Talk.
If you ever have any questions, like is this fake news? Bring it to the group.
You can talk to Snopes. A lot of people shit on
1,200
Snopes.
people right now could tell you. You know,
Snopes. A lot of people shit on Snopes.
Right wing or it's right leaning for sure.
Yeah, but whatever. A lot of the stuff on there, like you get like the chain mails. Bill Gates is giving out $1 million if you share this shit out. That's fake news in a sense. But Snopes is good for places like that where you want to verify little weird tidbits. They've done their research for most things.
Last time I went to Snopes, it was like, I just typed amen. Is Jesus really going to save this kid? And Snopes was like, no.
That's Snopes.
Snopes. You know, like Snopes. I was like, type amen and 1,000 likes will cure cancer. So I'm like, hey Snopes, I just typed amen. Is this kid gonna be all right?
What did it say?
No,
no,
he's fucking dead.
When we did it, we were talking about doing the Barack Obama episode. That's where I typed in Barry Sotoros to find out anything about. And quickly enough, sure as shit, it showed me the copy of his Columbia thing, is Barry Sotoros, but it also showed me the original, the one that they copied.
Exactly.
And it gave the story about how they didn't even have fucking barcodes on their things
not
when
back
he was
then.
there. That's not the style they use. No. So it's okay. But it's common sense. If it sounds too good to be true, if it's too outlandish, it generally is.
Yeah, you really just need to use your fucking brain.
Right.
Is the
and
deal.
Be careful about believing shit that you want to believe. Don't delude yourself.
Gosh,
a lot of people will do that.
I've been there.
Because you want to believe that story.
Yes.
It's so fucking radical and wild. You want to believe it. Slow down. Take a breath.
Yep.
Think about it.
And it's funny because we run a conspiracy show here, so the people that are here are more open
we're
to
kind of talking
ideas.
To you guys.
We're more open to ideas than other people are.
We're very interested in this stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to be taken by any fucking theory that comes around.
Right,
I'm open to hearing about it, but you're
don't-
not going to tell me there's a man living in the middle of the moon without any goddamn proof. Just because I want to believe it doesn't make it true, and I shouldn't act that way.
Yes.
I shouldn't act according to me wanting to believe it's true, then it's true.
Yeah,
That makes you an asshole, like a religious person.
Like a religious.
Okay, like a religious person that gets out there waving the religious flag and telling you you're going to burn in hell.
You're a zealot.
A zealot, yeah. Zealots are assholes.
You are a zealot. Yes.
So, that's that. Net neutrality.
Yes, this is the.
Do you know what net neutrality really is?
No, you know what I do, but I want you to give me a better explanation. What do you?
So right now
know about
there is net neutrality. It means that everything you do on the internet on a traffic level must be created or treated the same by your ISP. So say you're watching videos on YouTube or you're downloading music or you're watching web pages, that traffic must be given the same priority as any other traffic.
Right.
So without net neutrality, now that traffic isn't all neutral. They can throttle your Netflix back. Your ISP can go, yeah, that's Netflix. We run a cable company. We don't want that to run fast.
Right, because why would we want Netflix to outrun us?
Basically, it allows you to control. If like you're giving internet service, now you have control over it. You can say this is what the internet we allow you to get to is.
Yes.
Instead of making the internet completely open and free, and just being a gateway or a door to a larger world,
a port, so to speak.
They want to take that.
Internet.
They want to take that door and put a gate on it, or
a lock, or
right, or just part of making,
or just how about like a hallway to a different part after you go through the door.
Right, they're just locking doors out or
putting
putting sand in there so you got to walk slower. It's shitty, and if anybody who cares about the internet should definitely support net neutrality.
Yes,
and say fuck you to everyone in the current administration who's trying to take our internet and make it just commodity after commodity of. It's just wires.
Then we don't want state-sponsored internet. We don't want to be able to go to what websites they want. Do you like being able to browse the internet freely?
Right.
Or do you want to be able to have certain websites that you can go to and that's it? Yeah. Because you want to be like North Korea? That's what the fuck you're going to be like is North Korea. They got like 10 websites.
Or China.
You can go to a couple websites.
That's not really net neutrality. That's censorship.
Okay,
but censorship's a shitty thing on the internet too.
Yeah.
We don't want that. The internet is free, has been.
We don't
should always will be.
We don't want to be censored, and that's the bad. That's the.
Let me ask you this:
Do you
think people should be allowed complete anonymity online?
Well, and that's the thing. That's the real problem with censorship and anonymity. Because if you are allowed complete anonymity online, then that just lets the pedos and everybody
the worst of the worst come out.
Free reign. You know what I mean?
It's YouTube comments.
It's YouTube comments, exactly.
I'm not talking about our people. We love you guys commenting on YouTube.
No, but if you
any YouTube video and you go down to the comments, that's what anonymousness allows you. I guarantee if you had to sign up for every account with Everett Hicks Wood River, or wherever I live, your name,
Yeah.
and it links back to your profile that tells you who you are, you're not getting on there saying, oh, yeah, white people are the best.
I remember when the paper that you worked for switched their online comments to where you had to be...
Right, where you couldn't be anonymous.
You couldn't be anonymous anymore?
You had to use your Facebook.
You had to use your Facebook account?
That was the best thing ever.
Dude, it got way...
It died.
It died.
Yeah,
like,
so,
the comments were
great
good.
story. I worked for a newspaper.
The comments were good before that.
A pretty decent-sized newspaper for our area. It's the main paper in the area. 30,000 a day subscription at the time.
Yeah.
Our website generally allowed you, like any other website, you get in, you give yourself a handle, and it's an anonymous account. You're, Daddy Daycare 12. But eventually, we decided we're gonna marry up our website with Facebook and use that authentication method. The side effect was using Facebook comments. You use your Facebook account, so you couldn't no longer get on there and be like, "Fuck the mayor of Godfrey. He's a piece of shit. I hope he dies."
Yeah.
It's
back
Mark
on
Smith going, "Hey, fuck the."
Yeah.
No, I don't want to have people see me say that. You pussy. That's what I call you. You pussy.
Yeah.
Hide behind your anonymity. But on the other hand, we need anonymity, like journalists. You know what I mean? They cannot be afraid for spreading the ideals. So the government gets pissed that you're talking about, this new deal with Syria or whatever. However you want to do it, there's good reasons to be anonymous and there's bad reasons to be anonymous. So don't get rid of it.
I don't
deal with the trolls and learn to ignore them. Learn how to take the shitty internet and give it a good butt wiping. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Make it a little less shitty.
Right, for yourself. You can't do it for everybody. You got to learn how to do it for yourself. Learn how to browse safe. Keep your computer firewalled and virus protected. Find whatever works for you. I can't give you any good connections. But just learn it. Take the time. If you get to a website that pops up and says, danger, your computer's infected with malware, you're not. That's called scareware. It's meant to scare you into calling that phone number. Then they sell you this antivirus software, which is the fucking virus, basically.
Right.
So here's a quick shortcut for everybody when you get in that situation. As soon as you see that window that says your computer is infected that's on a website, if you're on a Mac, hit Command-W. If you're on a PC, hit Control-W. That kills your tab and instantly closes it out. Do it as soon as you see it before it can do that little pop-up that says, are you sure you want to leave this site?
Right.
Because then it gets difficult. Then you actually have to kill your browser. When you turn your browser back on at that point, be careful not to hit the little button that says Restore Session. You ever seen that where your browser crashes and all your tabs are gone? Well, if you do that, you crashed your browser on purpose to get rid of it. Now you're just right back in the same boat. So don't hit Restore Session. Just go to your history and bring back any tabs you want in manually. Don't be a douche. Buckle your safety belt.
Yes.
That's it. That's the shitty internet.
That's the shit. Well, there's more. There's probably a lot more shitty things on the internet.
Oh, there's plenty more, but the internet's a shitty place. Just protect yourself.
But it can also be a really cool place, man. There's a lot of neat stuff that can be done. There's a lot of
Sure, there's plenty of real commerce that happens.
Everyday lives, are drastically different
than 20 years ago
because of the internet.
20 years ago, if you would have told me that every person in the world will be walking around, mostly every person, with a greater than, let's say this, the saturation for smartphones attached to people in this world is probably better than 1 to 1.
Oh yeah.
So, like in Mexico, it's closer to 2 to 1. Most people down there have 2 smartphones.
Why?
I don't fucking know, but it's the truth. Look it up. The saturation level is down there so big. People don't have internet at home in Mexico, too. You got to understand the infrastructure isn't there. They never had the economy to justify running all the copper and fiber out to all these places remotely. So whenever
the internet to them is
wireless,
a phone.
whenever wireless technology came out, boom, it's everywhere. So 20 years ago, if you would have told me that everyone in the world will be walking around with a personal computer, more or less, in their pocket, connected to a network of all the other computers in the world, going at speeds that you can't even imagine, where you can transfer an entire song in less than a second, I just said, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
That's Star Trek.
Yeah, that's Star Trek. And really an entire song in less than a second, that's
easy. You can do entire 3 songs in a second with the 100 megabit I get from my cable company. Mm-hmm. If you figure an average song 4 megs, I can download 3 songs in a second with that speed if it at 12 megabytes a second down. So it's pretty nuts. That's it for shitty internet. Let's go ahead and say thank you.
Yeah, we've got a few new patrons.
A few new patrons on our Patreon account, patreon.com/Surreal Talk.
Yeah, we want to thank you for that. We appreciate everyone.
We got a $50 donation the other day on there, which is just wild to me.
That's cool.
So if you'd like to support the show in any way possible, like monetarily, we have Patreon, which is a voluntary subscription service. You go to that website. You can donate any amount you want a month to the show. Basically, pledge it to us. Subscribe for $1 a month. Subscribe for $10 a month. You're not getting anything special from it. Maybe a little bit of recognition from us like right now. But we will eventually tap into that account and draw the funds out of it. We haven't yet.
No.
It's like we do with everything else. We let that shit set. But eventually, one day, we'll have a nice little nugget, and we'll probably throw it right back into advertising for the show.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But if you want to help us out, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Or you can go to our website, surrealtalkpodcast.com/Amazon, and do that deal. Eventually, we're going to cash that one out, too, once we get to that level.
I don't think that works, though.
It works. It's just you can't do it on mobile, which is now, like we've said, 70% of the internet or whatever.
Oh, right.
That's the thing, too, these days. People don't, when you're programming a website, generally they think your programming process should be mobile first. Plan what it's going to look like on mobile, then plan the desktop.
Really?
So
And
that's the internet these days.
Yeah.
It's not desktop. It's
90% of my internet browsing is on my phone.
I wouldn't say that. I sit behind a computer every day.
Yeah, no.
But for people who are not in an office every day, who don't have the ability to sit and browse the internet while their boss thinks they're doing work,
dude.
That's what it is. That's mobile internet. That is the internet to you. The group activity lately, facebook.com/group/Surreal Talk.
It's been crazy, gnarly good, man.
You're getting like 200 people in the last week.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that somebody is paid for our group to be advertised.
How though? What do you mean that? I don't understand that. How can you advertise?
So like
How
you can
I-
promote a Facebook post, right?
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with a group. So you know how there's the suggested groups, you see that all the time?
Yeah.
You could pay to have your group show up more often in that suggested group
Really?
or towards the front of the suggestions. Yeah. And then you'll pay for I want to pay for 300 group members, and it will put you up near the top until it's reached its quota of 300. So it's not like you pay for a length of time or whatever. You pay for how many you want, and it stays up there until you get what you pay for.
Get the fuck out.
That's the same way it is with
That's how
Facebook
that
posts.
works?
That's how all of our old Facebook postings used to work when we paid for them. We would put our post out. We would pay for 25,000 clicks or something or impressions, how many times it would be shown. And it would show that until it's filled. And what's crazy about that is with Facebook, you get to choose the complete demographic because it knows everything about you already.
Right.
Male, female, what age, what are their interests, what Facebook pages do they specifically belong to and follow. You can drill it down that far to make sure your ad gets to where you want it to go.
Yeah.
That's another part of the shitty internet. Facebook knows you so well.
Yeah. Facebook knows you better than you know you.
You ever think it's funny? You go to Amazon, you look for something, you didn't buy it, but you're on Facebook 2 hours later and the ads that
And
pop
it's
up.
coming up with that right there.
Exactly
Yeah.
that. That's the shitty internet. They're watching you. Your cookies
Yeah.
are have way more information than you realize in them.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, don't get paranoid. That's the future. It's just going to happen. It's convenience. They're not, for the most part, Amazon isn't trying to be malicious. Facebook isn't trying to be malicious. They're trying to serve you.
For the most part.
For the most part, they're trying to serve you better products, and they're trying to provide a better value for people advertising. So for me, I kind of like it better if I'm able to advertise my product to the group of people that are really the people that care about it.
The people that are going to buy your
not
product.
just the masses. I played at 3 o'clock on Channel 11. Everybody who happens to be watching, whether they're interested or not, sees it.
Right.
Or I put it on Facebook only whenever that person's on who's interested in that shit, and they might see it when they're scrolling down their newsfeed. That seems like a good value to me.
Well,
but at the
seems
same
like
time,
you're
it's banking on my information. It's banking on what I've put into your system so you can make money. It's,
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, fuck you, don't make money on me. But I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the service.
Yeah, because
Well,
it's
fuck
helping
you.
me out.
But that's kind of our crowd, though. At the same time, it's the conspiratorial people have a nature of being paranoid that people are collecting their information. I don't like it, but at the same time, I understand for the most part how it's being used. But there
Yeah.
are plenty of bad uses for it too. So keep your paranoia in check, but don't lose it completely. Is my advice.
Definitely. But my paranoia, it runs unchecked. Just.
Here's another tip. You know, every website you've ever had to sign up for where you needed to have your birthday or website or your birthday on it. Choose a new birthday for that.
I do.
Good. You got your.
I don't
It's on the same one every time.
Yep.
That
and
way,
I
if you got
yes.
another good thing, choose fake security key answers. So whenever what's your mother's maiden name? Plum.
Every time.
Every time. Now it's new. For passwords, here's another way to get for passwords to keep yourself a little more secure. These are just my little tips and tricks. Fuck the password. Passphrase is what you want. I'm pretty sure I said this on the Vault 7 episode. But don't think of your one word plus numbers as a good password. It's not. The longer your password, the better. So generally when a brute force hacking attempt happens, it'll go through every possible combination of letters and numbers, given an 8-digit or 12-digit or whatever. The longer it is, the longer it takes.
Yeah.
12 digits is like
You're
a million
up
years.
into millions, yeah.
8 digits, it can crack in 3 hours. So every part of it is exponentially harder for those computers to do. So when I do my passwords, You can do something as simple and clear as, and in all lowercase, this is my password for Walmart.com. This is my password for PayPal. It's something the brute force would never get. But the downside to that is if you use a scheme like that and somebody gets onto it,
they're gonna get everything.
Or you can come up with a random string and say 13 or 8 characters that you can remember. Maybe it's a phone number in the middle. And at the beginning you put PAY, that 8-string PAL at the end of it. Just little ways like that. Just make your password long. And it doesn't have to be super secure with different symbols and numbers and uppercase. Longer the better at the end of the day. And don't share it. It's dumbness that gets you hacked.
Yeah.
So that's all I got on the shitty internet and everything today. In the show.
Yeah,
Bye.
I agree. Group activity's been good, though. I'm with that.
It's been great. Any which way, we'll see you guys next week. What are we talking about next week?
Oh, we're talking about that Wacko and Waco.
David Koresh, the Branch Davidians,
Yes,
that whole
sir.
thing went down. That ought to be real interesting.
That's good. Well, everyone loves the cult. Every time we do a cult, they love it. So,
yeah.
I like that one. I got opinions about that one. So.
Well, good.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
A week after that, we're going to do one that's been requested for a long, long time, Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch.
This was I actually got turned on to this and finally decided to do it. One of our group members, he may or may not be in the chat for the live show today. He's like, I'm kind of sick of you guys doing government conspiracy type shows all the time. Do something a little more crazy like you used to do. Like Skinwalker Ranch. I've been asking for that forever and you guys won't do it. I was like, you know what? You're right. You have been asking forever. You're not the only one.
Who was it?
I'm not saying on the air.
Oh,
right.
right.
I'm not pulling somebody. I'll tell you afterwards. I was like, you're right. And one common thing I get messages about from people, personal messages, is the group, how they don't like some of the shit that's posted in the group.
Really?
A lot of people, we have some people who get kind of offended at the comedic nature sometimes we give to conspiracies. Like, you can't take it too seriously. There's a lot of people
flagged the post on the...
People, they're get real angry. You're a shill. That sort of stuff. To anybody who sent me those messages, and I've kind of laughed along with you, give people a break. We're just trying to be lighthearted about it. There's no way we can stop the Clintons. You know what I mean?
No,
There's no way we're stopping Illuminati. We're not going to be able to kill the vampire that lives down the road.
We're just saying Eric and Everett are we're not taking down the Rothschilds. It's not going to happen today.
That's not what that group is for. It's for people like us who have a same mind, who are fascinated and intrigued by these types of topics and who don't take it super seriously. If you take it super seriously, I don't know why you're listening to this show.
Time. Yeah. But what I had posted was a picture of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it.
Your post got reported?
No, it was another guy that posted it. But what I posted, hey, by the way, this post got flagged, and it was just an Imperial Walker, an AT-AT shooting at the Twin Towers, and it said those blast points are too accurate for sand people.
That was a good one.
Somebody reported it.
Well, Nick says go ahead and say it. It was Nick Soledad who asked for Skinwalker. He's been asking for a while. You're not the only one, Nick. And I'm not completely saying it's you who's the one who gives people a hard time for being a little too, on the comedic side of the conspiracy stuff. But I get that a lot.
Yeah. I don't get that. They must say that to you because they know I like to be funny.
People think you're an asshole and they don't think you're approachable, too.
They say that to you, really?
Yeah, you're not approachable.
For real?
No, I'm just fucking with you. Nobody's ever said anything like that to me.
Fuck you asshole.
All right, let's kill the show, man.
What a jack off.
All right, we'll catch everybody next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Sorry about last week. Eric needed some time off. The man needs his time off. All right,
definitely.
Everybody, you took a little shit for that, too. We always take some shit whenever we take days off.
I know, but people fail to realize we got lives, too, And
families, wives who fucking get pissed that every Saturday is, well, you got to come to the studio? There goes our Saturday. Why can't we ever do something on Saturday? I don't know how many times you've heard that one. I've heard it quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry we missed a day every now and then.
Yeah.
Anyway, catch you next week. Love y'all.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Ah, that's a good one. It was long, too.
Hold on, let me kill the recording for you.
Oh, yeah, before I start.
Shit, we should have given the old, remember how we talked about doing that rating system for how we thought the show went?
I would give that one a 7.
Yeah.
Maybe an 8.
Real good show in my opinion. What's chat doing? Hello everyone, sorry I didn't talk to you much today.
Abacab, ACAB.
That's
it's the blood code.
Mortal Kombat blood code, yeah.
Yeah.
It was also a song by Genesis. We're talking about Phil Collins earlier. They did a song called Abacab.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Abacab.
What are people saying in chat, man? I can't see it from here.
It says, I wish my husband had a studio. Wait, or what about the old Sega blood sheet? Abacab. Susan Michelle, does your husband do podcasts or something?
No, she's probably like, I wish I had a way to get rid of him on Saturdays. I wish he had a studio to go to. Like,
Oh yeah, that's what that is. I get it.
I'm just
Right.
guessing.
No, that's what it is.
I gotta save this show real quick on Raw.
And then we're ready.
Man, we were on forever today.
Yeah, a couple hours. It's a good show.
It was a long show for show.
Mm,
What's today's date? 29?
I do not know.
07/29.
I didn't think it was a bad show though. Oh man. Fake news, man. What are you gonna do?
Fake news is some bullshit.
It's a good show though. I guess we're ready though, right?
What cheat code was Justin Bailey? Don't waste my time, Lauren. That's easy Metroid
That's
code.
Metroid, yeah, Justin Bailey for sure. Samus.
When it comes to video games, you're not going to fuck with me.
Right. Where's the arrow keys at on here? Up, up.
I'm pretty sure I've said a few times that I'm the president now of a video game type-ish company at my day job. So I got cred when it comes to gaming. A little bit. Nick says strong 8 for the show today. I thought it was
Strong
good.
8? Oh, good deal. Thank you.
It could have
I
been
was-
better.
I was
We could have
thinking
did a little more
7.
research, but I thought it was a good show.
I thought it said 7, 7, 8.
Yeah, let's quit sucking our own dicks, though.
Agreed.
If I could do that, would I ever leave home? I don't know. I don't know. It's a question for another time. All right, we'll catch everybody next week. Thanks for showing up. Yada, yada, yada. Marissa, we saw you were late. We noticed it and marked it down in our ledger of people who are late. And, well, you're in there again. So good job.
Huh?
You know our little book, we keep track of who's late and not in the chat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You're written down. So, oh, but she's black, so it's okay. She's got a point. She's got a good point.
That was pretty good.
Indeed. All right, catch you guys all next week. See you.